Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Peter Taraka. I am the manager of aircraft restoration here at the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum. We are in the wonderful aircraft restoration hangar, and today I'm working on our Grumman F9F Cougar, a single-seat fighter jet from the Korean War era. This airplane was totally restored just over a decade ago, and a decade of sitting out in the elements on the flight deck, cold, heat, sun, snow, has taken its toll on the paint finish in certain areas. Several areas on the airplane have done great. They look wonderful and they don't need recoating. So what we're doing is a sort of a quickie compared to our usual complete renovation. We're just touching up areas that need it. And right now, today, excuse me, today I'm working on the upper surface of the left wing, which is in its folded position. For some reason, this surface we can't seem to get the paint to stick to the metal on this wing. You could see below the cab where I am, where it has just flaked off over the years. And it has flaked off and been touched up and flaked off and been touched up several times over that decade I'm telling you about, since it was first restored. And today we're taking the opportunity to completely strip this paint down to the metal and give it an alcohol and acetone rub down to try to get at that devil that is causing the paint not to adhere properly. I have suspicions about what may be causing that problem. This airplane has what is called, or at least in this section, what is called a wet wing. A lot of airplanes have separate fuel tanks inside of the wings, but certain airplanes, the inside structure of the wing is properly sealed to hold fuel, and they just fill the wing up with fuel. In such a case, over the years and years of doing this, it's possible that some elements inside the fuel may have seeped deeply into the structure. And if those elements come to the surface, they will prevent paint from sticking. So that's one possible theory I'm entertaining. So what I've done is the paint has been stripped off this section, about half of the wingspan, and I've been giving it, I gave it an alcohol rub down yesterday, and right now I'm giving it an acetone rub down, and I will be applying some primer, and it's a water-based product, and I've enjoyed much success with it. So I'm sort of hoping that it does the trick here. We'll see what happens, right? All right.
I'm just going to do a little pan of where you are in relation to the rest of the plane.
Oh, good. And as always, I welcome any questions. I mean, anything, any topic. What kind of treats my dog likes.
What's your favorite color?
Now, this primer I'm using, it's called Extreme Bond Primer. So, yes, I have high hopes.
Is it specially designed for metallic surfaces, or is it, or does that kind of primer work on anything?
It's metallic surfaces. Well, not necessarily metallic, but non-porous surfaces. So this would not, you would not use this on, for instance, wood or anything porous.
You pick it up just with your normal paint supply?
Yes. Now, after this dries, in these areas that are that have been problematic in the past, I will give this an adherence test. Yeah, sounds complicated. All it is take a piece of tape, any tape, Scotch tape, duct tape, and adhere it to the surface and yank it off. If the paint comes off with it, it's not doing the job that I hoped it would do.
I think we've got a question coming in.
Oh, I hope it's about my doggy.
Are you concerned about any of that chemical seepage you referred to being toxic? That's from David Hopkinson.
I would, or I would be more concerned about it if it were seeping out in any real quantity. When I say seeping out, I mean after the surface being painted 1 year later, you might see a quarter in diameter size stain around a rivet. Yes, while yes, it is toxic, it is not in such a quantity as to be considered harmful. Now, the other good thing about this product is that being water-based, you can still put on a relatively thick coat and it will dry quickly. I'll be able to test this surface for proper adherence in 1 hour. Even less if I aim one of my great big fans at it. In my experience, I have found that more than anything else, humidity, temperature, all those other factors, air circulation tends to speed drying. But that's just my experience. How's it looking, Liam?
Looking good.
All right.
Say hi to JC.
Hi, JC. We miss you here big time.
She's asking where is Kate?
Well, if Kate wants to step, Kate is, she's over there playing video games on her iPhone.
So I can see that you're at the Jenny bucket there. Is you want to tell the viewers why you're in that as opposed to setting up scaffolding or standing on the surface of the plane?
Well, there's a wing fairing directly below me, which takes me to another issue, and that is, if anyone's wondering why I'm not wearing a safety harness, if I were to fall out of this bucket, I would fall approximately 3.5 feet to another part of the airplane. Anyway, oh yeah, what was the question?
So why you're in this as opposed to like building a scaffolding or standing on the surface of the plane?
Oh, well, scaffolding takes a little while to set up, and it's been my experience when I'm using scaffolding that it doesn't get me to where I need to be. It's much with the bucket. I can articulate this thing all over because the shape of an airplane doesn't really follow like the shape of a house, for instance. Scaffolding makes sense because you're working pretty much on a square object or an angular object. So a lot of curves involved here. So.
We've got a question from Mike King.
Hi, Mike.
Do you paint match to Navy regs or what is left on the plane as you're repainting? So do you follow the regulation paints provided from the Navy, or it's just as good as you can?
Great question, Mike. And this this provides a headache to the paint people because I show up. I'm probably the only customer they have that shows up with FS numbers, which are the military code numbers for these paints. Everybody else might have like a Pantone number or something. So they see me come, oh no, it's him again. But yes, we try to stick to military stuff.
As figure that out, have they?
Oh yeah, they have, but they have to get out a big like the Dallas phone book and go through this and anyway. Eric, you know Eric, Mike. He is able to, and sometimes I help locate the numbers, and we find them more frequently than anywhere else in the modeling world. For instance, I'll give you an example. Like if I went on eBay right now and asked for a decal set for a Grumman Cougar, I would get a whole bunch of replies showing different decal sets for different squadrons, and also depicting the FS numbers for the paint scheme used. So, yeah. It's also good because it's a very good match. I'll go, even though this airplane was painted a decade ago, I'll go pick up a gallon of FS 35117, whatever this is, and it will be a pretty good match, except of course for whatever fading may have gone on in that time span.
Thanks, Peter.
Huh?
Mike Fix says thanks, Peter.
Oh,
Tell him to keep them coming.
I was mentioning the speed at which this stuff dries. This this layer that I had put on at the beginning of the live stream is already accepting a second coat. Come on, this is fascinating. Where are the questions?
How long is it going to take you to do that portion of the wing?
20 more minutes.
20 more minutes?
This will be dry. And the other good thing about this paint is it dries very flat. So almost no sanding is required to put a finish coat over this. Can I say the product name?
Yeah, of course.
This is Sherwin-Williams Extreme Bond Primer. It's a wonderful thing. And I'm really hoping that it solves our 10-year long problem with this wing. Oh. Because my boss is going to check it out. And I don't want it to enter that well-populated column of Peter's failures. Just kidding.
Eric will be in tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
I'm sure he'll address all your failures in person.
Oh, yeah. Especially since I won't be here. That's when he can speak freely. So if any of the viewers are wondering, well, why didn't he just do the whole wing? That's because what I'm doing here with bringing the surface down to the metal and applying this extreme bond primer, that's sort of an experiment. So yeah, I'm sort of, well, I know they say, like a lot of paint manufacturers say, try it out in a small area. This isn't necessarily a small area, being 5 feet by 3 feet, but considering the whole surface of this airplane, yes, it is we'll call it a swatch.
So what do you think we're going to be doing next week? Clean up?
Next week,
Have you got anything in there?
well, I'm pretty sure this airplane needs to be done quickly because we have another project coming down the pike. I've been informed that since it hasn't been publicly announced, I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you it's pretty cool.
All right, we got one more question and then we'll wrap it up.
All right, let's hear it.
David says, so if that works, is the plan to apply that primer to all the sanded areas of the plane?
The answer is yes. Because even though there are many areas on the airplane that aren't experiencing this problem I described, it's still good to have things look uniform. Also, I have been to a couple of paint seminars where paint professionals talk about the qualities of their coatings, and one guy made a wonderful presentation about excuse me, how white, even if it's under something dark, provides more UV protection than non-white. So it's helping in a way, I think. Anyway, should I wrap up?
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
All right. Thank you all for joining us today. And yeah, tune in next week for something really, really special that my colleague Kate she won't even tell me what's happening. Yeah. And don't forget to donate to Intrepid so we can keep these things going.